Good morning, everyone. This is Vasudesh Pandey from Easylib Software Private Limited. Today, our webinar topic is Student Master Data Management. This is going to be a webinar of about 1 hour. We are going to cover the theory part in about 20 minutes. Then we will have the demonstration of Easylib application for next 30 minutes. Then we'll have 10 minutes for the question and answers. So I request everybody to stay tuned and watch the complete webinar. And when you have questions, kindly write it down. And we will do have the question and answer sessions at the end. Currently, all of you have been muted, and the session is also being recorded. And these session as well as the previous ones are available in our website www.easylib.net. So let's get started. We have about 5 attendees. Again, the topic today is student master data management. Just a little bit background about the company and myself. My name is Vasudev Deshpande. I am one of the founders of Easylib Software Company. We provide software for the education institutes. Currently, we have about 630 customers across Karnataka as well as other states, and then a few outside India. Many of the medical, dental, pharmacy, physiotherapy, engineering, degree colleges, and many professional colleges use our software. We are thankful to our clients for continuous feedback and helping us develop better and better software. I am one of the founders of the company. We also have a couple of our team members on this webinar, so they will be able to answer any additional questions you may have. And let's get started now. Okay, so today's webinar is going to be in three parts. The first one is we are going to cover the basics of what is master data and what master data can do for you, and how the student master data plays a crucial role in your organization. Then we'll cover the benefits, and lastly, we will have the hands-on demonstration of the application of master data management. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so let's see what is master data over here. So if you see the definition, right, master data represents key business objects. Say in a typical college, right, the master data is going to be what are the colleges you have got, all the students' data, the employees' data, the location data, what are the rooms you have got, your own customers, the suppliers, publishers, vendors, all of this forms the master data, right? So the key thing is that it represents a key business object, right? Key business object or key organization object and entities. Let's say, for example, room is an entity, right? And elements, right? It serves as the foundation for the organization transactions. So all the transactions in the organization happen through the master data. Say, for example, give admission. To who do you give? To a student, right? So student is the master data. You conduct classes in a room. Where do you conduct? In a room. So the room is a master data. You sell some of your products to somebody. Who is that somebody? Customer. What you will sell? Product. So these are all the product, customer, supplier, location, employees, vendors. All of these are master data over here. So it's typically persistent, right? So you load the master data and you don't keep on changing the data frequently. Once you enter the student data, right, it remains for long, long, long time, and it may even remain forever. And if the data becomes excessively huge, you will only archive it. You never delete a master data, right? So rarely there are any cases where the master data is deleted. It's only archived to another system. Okay, it's typically persistence, doesn't change very, very frequently. Okay, so this is what is the master data. So let's see what are the other types of the data over here then. Then let's see the examples here. Right. So there are three types of the data that we can see. The first one is master data that we covered. Second is the transaction data, and third is analytical data. So three things: master, transaction, analytical. So let's see what is the difference between each of these from various respects. So the first one, how do you build a transaction data? How do you build a master data? So master data is typically entered in hand. When a student comes and then fills in the admission form, that is when a master data gets created of a prospective student. When you grant admission, a part of that data moves into the student record, and then you have the student record created. right? So once you assign a USN, that remains forever. So you don't have the duplication of the master data entries here, right? On the other hand, transaction data keeps on building over here. So you grant the admission, you collect the fees. Fees is a transaction data. In a library, you issue a book. That's a transaction data. Student returns a book. That's again a transaction data. So transactions happen every day. It could be the fee collection, conducting the classes, the taking the attendance, issuing a book, returning a book. The student logs in and then sees your website, reads a book. All of these are transactions that are performed. And then there is analytical data. What is this analytical data? Analytical data gets built in order to do more analysis of it, right? Say, for example, if you want to see what is the punctuality of the students in attending the classes, right? So classes and the students is a master data. The transaction data, as the classes are held, that becomes the transaction data. Then you download that data. You not only get the student ID, you get the student ID, age, name, geographical background, how far he is studying, how far he is staying from the college, all the data you gather. Then with respect to the classes, you gather saying that what day it was conducted, what time it was conducted, who is the staff conducted, all that data you download. So the huge data that you download, and then you do a analysis on that. Then you may be coming up with a certain analysis and the findings saying that if the student is saying staying more than 10 kilometers away from the college, most likely the student is going to be late for the class being held at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? It may be simple to understand, but intuitively. But when the data is there, it tells you what percentage of the students are getting delayed for what reason, right? You may even also find out something like, one particular professor, when he takes the class, there is 100% attendance. On the other hand, there are a few professors whose attendance level is less than 80%, right? So all that analysis is part of the analytical run using the analytical data. So how does this analytical data get built? You download the master data, you download the transaction data, you mix and match, build a huge set of data. So that is what is analytical data gets built. Now let's see how often the frequency of the updates happen. Right? When it comes to master data, you don't keep updating the data regularly. Like, for example, you created student record, the name, address, phone number, email, and other details are entered. How often a student changes the address? Maybe once or twice a year at the max. How often the students change the email? Rarely. Phone number? A few times. So the frequency updates is not very high in master data. On the other hand, transaction data is based on the transaction. You book a ticket, you go and pay the fees, you borrow a book. There are transactions happening. So the frequency of update and insert is very high in the transaction data. And as far as the analytical data, right, how often you do the updates, you don't constantly keep on updating the analytical data. You probably take the entire dump maybe once a day, once a week, or once a month. You don't very, very often do the updates as far as the inserts as far as the analytical data is concerned, right? So instead, it's taken once a day, once a week, or something like that. Now let's see what is the volume of the data. You are a typical college with about, let's say, 1,000 students. Your master data of the 1,000 students is 1,000 per year. Then if you're an organization of, let's say, 10 years, your master data could be 10,000 students with respect to the students, right? Then there is a faculty of couple of hundred. Then there are rooms of about maybe 100 or so. So your master data is in thousands. But on the other hand, the transaction data is in tens of thousands. Every day, hundreds of books gets circulated, right? Every day, thousands of record entries are made as far as the attendance is timetable is concerned. So the transaction data is very large. And on the other hand, analytical data is even larger, because what you are doing is you are not only taking the transaction data, you are clubbing this other multiple other sources of the data, making a huge data set. So there is a new concept called a data lake. So that is going to be handled separately in another webinar where we are going to study about business intelligence, right? So business intelligence and other tools, they use this analytical data. So the volume of the data is extremely large, right? So now let's see, how does the data get populated? Master data, usually there could be data entry screen, imports, right? So you have one application, another application is sending you the data as whenever a student is admitted, right? Say, for example, now the COMED season is going on, right? COMED K, NEET. So those departments send the data to the college saying that, okay, these are the students allocated to your college. So you import that data into your master data system. So that is one way important. Now the transaction data is almost online, right? So you borrow a book, you are online, you are borrowing it online, right? You enter into a library, a RFID reader will make an entry into the system, or there could be an API based system which will make entry into the transaction data system. So that is how this transaction data gets populated. Whereas on the analytical data, right? How does the data get populated is mostly through the batch jobs. They run in the night or early morning or maybe in the weekends. They do lot of analysis in your system, lot of merger of these multiple files, data sets, build a denormalized table, what we call it is a very flat, large table, then load into the analytical system, right? So the frequency is a little weekly or something like that, and it's mostly through the batch jobs. So where does the master data is used for? Critical information for your organization. Student data, rooms data, faculty data. And transaction data, where is it used? All your day-to-day operations are all in the transaction data here. Now, analytical data is used for analysis, right? So analysis is definitely possible only through the analytical data here. Now, if you look at the level of computerization, right? So probably it follows the same thing. The very first thing in any organization to get automated is the master data, basic student data, basic faculty data that you do. Then once you have that, you go into the next level of transaction data, capture the transaction data like attendance, the timetables, in fact, timetable could be a master data, but the attendance is a transaction data, right? Then you have the student fee payment, you have the library transactions, all of this is transaction data. Once you have done the transaction data automation, the next level is you want to analyze further. That is when this analytical data plays a big role. Correct? So the examples are we covered already. The student, faculty, vendor, room, publisher is part of the master data. Fee payment, library transaction scores, all of these are the course attendance, all transaction data. And the mix and match of everything to be able to get insight into what is your organization is analytical data. Okay, all right. So now focus of today's topic is master data, especially with respect to the students. Now let's come back here. What happens if we don't have master data? The very first problem that you see is the data redundancy, right? So if you don't properly maintain a master data, everybody will keep on entering the same data. So you want the address of let's say the students in your college, right? So there may be one file which is having 500 names, another one is 200, another prepared after a couple of months, some more, another prepared 3 years back with another additional set of things. The data is all spread out everywhere because you are not maintaining the master data of student address. So complete data redundancy here, 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 here. It's all mixed up, messed up. So that is the first issue when you do not maintain a proper master data. Second is data inconsistency. What is this? Take this example. You are maintaining publisher data, right? So here somebody might have typed as Tata Mac Grow Hill. Somebody might have typed as TMH. Somebody else might have Tata Mac without space. Somebody Mac Grad Hill Private Limited. Something like that. There may be spelling mistakes. So now the question is which is the correct data, right? So there is a lot of data inconsistencies there if you do not have a master data system, right? So you end up with the 4 publishers, and as far as the student names concerned, there could be multiple issues with the student name itself, right? So somewhere you could store it as Vasudev, Vasudev Rao, VM Deshpande when it comes to, it's just the same person can be stored in multiple ways in the different systems, and it causes complete data inconsistency. Correct? So the third one is because of this redundancy and inconsistency, your entire business process becomes slow. If you need to send a mailer to some thousand people and you are not maintaining the master data, you again put the effort every time to get the data, write it, type it, print it, and then send the mailers. Right? But if you have a solid master data management system in your place, job of taking the addresses, printing them, sending the mailers will become easier. Right? So that is why you want to maintain the master data always. Okay. So let's see here. When it comes to the student data, student master data, what are the components here? So the first one could be the very basic one. Name, address, phone, contact information. They're the very basic things. Now, next level up, we maintain the data of degree, qualifications, areas of study, and education. So where you require, you maintain health information like height, weight, blood group, etc. Then the student might have written other entrance exam before getting admission. You track all that data here. So that is your master data. Results of the test appeared. What is the score that he got? What is the rank he got, and all that. Currently, what he is studying? What course he is enrolled in? Um, what subjects he has taken. All of them are related to the current education. Then, based on the person, based on the type of the entity, you may have some additional details. For example, a student is interested in the sports. So his master data is going to be, that will have the sports related information, which all sports he plays, what is the proficiency level in each of them, and so on. When it comes to the faculty, you may have information of what is the faculty teaching, what are the qualifications that he has having, where all he has presented the papers, where all he has published all his articles, and so on. That becomes a part of the master data, right? So based on the context, the type of the master data stored gets enhanced beyond these basic details like basic educational health and so on. Okay, so these are the components over here. So the key benefits of the component, master data are going to be centralized student database. You have one system which will have all the data. Then you are able to integrate with multiple systems here. You will integrate with attendance, fee management, examinations, attendance, all these library and many more. So you have the integration over here. Third is document management. Because you have one master data, all the documents pertaining to the student could be the marks card, ID card, his performance report, all of that you can link it to the master data. And because of all this, the biggest benefit is easy retrieval. Whenever somebody wants the complete details of a student, they just have to go to the master data system, type in the name and maybe the ID. It will display the options. You click on it, you get the complete data of that particular student here. So that's the retrieval benefit. Then the next one is because of all these things, you will be able to integrate with multiple applications. These are the benefits of master data, right? So additional benefits what you get. It's an electronic office. You don't no longer need the papers. The data accuracy improves. Data integrity is there. The same person is not called by multiple names. There's one standard name that you maintain. So the process is streamlined over here, right? So it's like whenever you need to print address label, you don't have to get to 10 places, 10 books and then find out the address. Instead, you come to the system, go and print the address label, right? Because of all this, right, you are able to increase the student engagement. It helps you in faster decision making and so on. Okay, so now let's go deep dive into the hands-on demo of how Easylib helps, right? So we are going to see the basic master data in Easylib. We are going to see various modules. We are going to see the exports, import, how we are going to do. We are going to see what are the integrations it has got and what are the steps to get started with the master data management. Then we will go into the demo. So just about the demo, what I'm going to show you is a complete working version of Easylib master data management system, which is a part of Easylib 6.4 for the libraries and Easy1 7.2 for the campus administration, right? So it's hosted on the cloud, it's ready for use, and you can get started immediately. right? The day you give the order, within a you get the confirmation back. Within a couple of days, the application gets installed. Then we have a lot of imports, and you will be up and running within a week, including all your data. It's a proven, ready system with lot of innovations and lot of bright ideas, right? It's already there in Easylib and EasyOne systems. So now what we'll do is we'll go deep dive into the applications over here. Just here are my contact details. I'll pause for a minute before we go on to the demo. Okay. All right, so let me go to the demo part here. So what you would do, how do you get started with the Easylib master data? Very simple. When you become customer, you get a URL. You just type the URL, your college name.easylib.net, right? So demo.easylib.net I have typed. This is completely customizable website with lots of interfaces over here, right? So I'll pause for a minute. You can look at it and then we'll come back in a second or so, in a couple of seconds. Okay. So this portion is configured for the library. That's why you are seeing the shortcuts related to library, library, federated search, library options, and so on. Complete it can be modified for your college over here. So to access the master data of the students in Easylib, you click on menu. You will see multiple master data options over here, right? The order may vary based on how it has been configured. So the first set of master data you will set up in the campus administration over here. Like, what are the categories you have? What are the castes you are going to maintain? Subcastes? What are the states in the country? How many countries are there? What are countries? Um, you can add all the countries or only a few that are frequently used. What kind of enclosures you get, mass card, income certificate, transfer certificate. These are all the kind of the setups you are doing over here, right? So some of the master data is like what you are going to teach, right? So the subject is a master data. Academic grades, what you are going to teach, right? First grade, second grade, or BAc, first year, second year, third year, and all that. Okay. So all of this is part of the master data over here. So there are a few more additional setups you are seeing. So this is the like profiles. What kind of profiles you are maintaining? What kind of category you have got? In-house reading, issuable books. This is for the library, right? So that the different setups you are doing. So based on this, you will build the master data for your students over here. So this is a very basic screen that you see where sample data of 30,000 student has been loaded here. Say for example, Pallavi 001 is her member ID, right? Throughout the lifetime of the student, right? Once the member ID is created, it will remain for so. It will not get assigned to somebody else or it will not get deleted. It may get only archived, right? So this is the member ID. You have got name, email, phone number, all those things. So these are all the part of the master data for a student over here. So is that only sufficient? No, not at all. You have got much more details over here. So for example, if I go a general student over here, right? Or let me type one particular ID here, right? So this is a student. Student is a member type, first name, last name, the status, gender, date of birth. Um, you can have the password, branch. All of these are entered over here. Occupation, mobile number, state, this one. This is sample data, okay? So you are maintaining the permanent address, you are maintaining the current address, the email you are maintaining, what is the current college they are studying, what is the library that they go to, what is the frequently the which library they go to, they're all part of this master data over here. To add a new record, it's very simple. You go to the last record. If you want to add any more, let's say YMC student 3, and then you type example test and whatever you want, you can active, then add a new photo over here and then add additional details. Click on add, the master data gets entered for that particular student over here. Anytime you want to inquire, you will just go here and enter this and then you get the data of that particular student here, correct? So you have multiple options, so you can add a new one. Just click on the new, everything gets cleared, right? You start afresh over here. You want to copy add this, you can do that. You just go and change this to ESPL 1, 200, right? And then you change anything else and then add it, whatever was the information for the previous student, that gets copied over there. Then you can modify, clear this, modify member ID, profile, home, all of this you can do over here. So this is the master data basic screen, very basic screen that you get started. But it doesn't end over here. In Easylib, we go deep in every area. Say, for example, student personal details, birthplace, nationality, admissions category, all of that you maintain here. Academic details, what he studied, what are his PUC marks, the 12th grade marks, how much he has studied, all that you maintain. Entrance examination details you maintain. Student family details you maintain. So all of these are a part of the master data of the student, right? So now let's see, how does the data get into the system, right? So there are multiple methods for that. One is a student self-entry system. So what you can do is you have one basic screen that you allow, keep it at the entrance of the college. Whoever wants to fill in the application format, they can go simply start entering the data. Say for example here, admissions, if I go over here and and student options, student functions, apply for admission. So the student goes here, starts filling in his data. I am getting admission at one college, this academic year, this particular grade, this course, and what is my first name, last name, all those he enters here. So that is when he submits this information, the master data of applicant gets created. The next step is after the applicants is created, you will go and give him the student ID. So let me log in here. If I go to admissions module, right, I am able to see who all the students who have applied for our college, right? So once I am happy and then we want to grant the admission to so and so student, right? So then we would be able to give a student ID and the data from here, admission record gets transferred to the master data as a student here. So again, you don't have to enter the data once again. Okay, so all right. So now if I go here, student master data, so the data gets entered based on the student entry. Okay, that is a self-entry list. Then you have the second option is importing the data. What you can do is, if you are getting the data from some other system, simply you get the data of this all these things over here. Suppose if I go here, I am getting the data of the students along with all these details, academic year, address, phone number, name, last name, profile, all this I can get. So what I can do is I can get that entire data in Excel format, upload into Easylib system. So that is when all this data, right, gets entered over here, and then it's as good as somebody has manually entered the data. If you have imported 100 records, instead of 31,230, it's going to be 31,330 here. So that is the second method of importing all your getting your data into the system. Third one, of course, is wherein you get the data in a pen and paper form. You go to that particular screen and create all the records one by one. Okay. So we covered the import. Okay. So we covered the list of the, there are multiple options are available as far as the searching the data is concerned. So before I go to the search, let me go down further here. So there is something called member data sheet. Say for example, you imported the data of all these people over here, right? Okay, so these about 25, 30 people are imported. If you think that all of them belong to one particular department, you simply go here and maintain update this department. Correct? All of the data of these 25, 30 or how many are selected will get updated saying that this is the department. You just updated as English, so it is showing that all of them belong to the English department. That is how you can do the member update one at a time. If everybody belongs to the same department, you do it. But now, what if the students belong to different departments? No problem. What you do is you are able to change the format. Just only two fields you will have, right? You can have the student ID and what is the department. Student ID, what is the department? Student ID, what is the department? When you have it and then you click the update, you will be able to do the mass update for all the 100, 200 students at a time. So these are the benefits that easily brings over here. The master data only begins the moment a student record is created. The moment you go to the screen and enter this, master data of the student is created. Every lot of systems may offer this feature, but very few systems like Easylib offer advanced one, including the import, mass update, updating multiple records, multiple values. So these are the things where Easylib really plays a big role over here. So again, this portion can be used by Easy One users as well as the library software users. So we covered the bulk update part. Then import we covered, member documents. So what you can do is all the documents, right, that you have got. Say for example, somebody attended the webinar. All the people who attended a webinar, we will be giving the certificate. Instead of sending them one by one, what we would do is we created a student ID for them and we'll upload that particular data document for them. Say for example, certificate of participation is given to Rajeshri for attending this on 7th July, right? So, like this, any document, it could be the certificate, it could be an identity card, photographs, the appreciation that you have got, all of that you can maintain in Easylib for each of the student, right? So then there are the graphical reports you can get. And then there is a customized report. A lot of these customized reports are possible. For example, if I want, okay, show me the data of the students who are in particular department. I just put some of these people into the English, right, department. So I just say, okay, show me the data of all the people in the English department. Search, you get the list of all this. How many? 49 students are in this English department, right? So you get this data here. Now, some of them don't have the academic year when they enter. Again, you can go to the bulk update and update all of this. Say, for example, if these people, you can take an export from here, import Excel. You don't want all this, you want only the member ID, just to take this. So you got this member ID data here, right? So that you can import it there and then update the academic year for those students. So easily makes this very easy to get the report. Say for example, department I got. Okay, now let me go and do a further filter and then see. Okay, so now let's see here, for example, who are the staff in the English. So what I can do is I can type the member type here. I have the member ID, I have the type, okay, member type, and I want the staff here. Now only the staff I am choosing here. So now based on these two conditions, these are the members who are in the English department with the member type as staff in the English department, right? And if I'm interested only in a certain range of member IDs, I can go and put another condition over here saying that, okay, show me only between ESPL 0, 01 till ESPL 0110, right? If I want, I can filter it. Only two records are there. Like this, easily makes the job of taking the reports very easy for you. And then if you want, you can even take the reports in HTML format, right? You get this report in the HTML format. If you want in Excel, you can get it in the text format. Whatever format you want to get it, you can get it. And including listing the data member ID in a certain file, importing the data, and then getting the reports only for those member IDs over here. Okay. Now let's say so this customized statistical report. So what does this mean? Okay, show me the data by each of the department. These are the departments, how many are active, how many expired, how many suspended. You want to see, okay, how many course, branch, academic year, member type. Let's see here. So now these are the different member types. How many are active, suspended, and expired members over here. So you can, this is the customized statistical report over here. Then going further, you can enroll them into the grade-wise enrollment, class-wise enrollment. These are part of the enrollment module over here. They'll be moving over there. So you use this master data to enroll this. Say, for example, if I go to why this master data becomes important is that, say, for example, if I want to enroll a certain student to some grade, what I need to do, say, for example, Easylib Academy, if I take, or let me take CK Prahalad Institute of Management, right? And academic year 23-24, integrated MBA, and this section, how many students are there? These are the people. I want to add one more, no issues. right? So, and enroll both of them, right? So now this is not enrolled because the person is already enrolled, right? That's why it did not enroll. Whereas 101, it enrolled successfully, right? So now again here, what you are doing is you are enrolling based on the member ID over here, which is the master data here. Okay, so now again, let's go back over here. The student master data. You are seeing the details, member ID we saw, enrollment we saw, member search if you want, you can do that. Very simple. There are lots of search criteria available here. You want to know, there is a member summary over here. It tells that, okay, how many profile, active, expired, that we saw one more screen. Member promotion, moving the students from one grade to another grade makes it easily, makes it very easy over here. Anytime a member data, master data is modified, it also keep track of what is modified and so on. So now let's go to this setup ID card here. What is this ID card? In Easylib, you are able to print a barcode and ID cards to a good extent, right? Say for example, setup ID card. I can set up the different types of the ID cards here, and I want to generate the ID card. I can go here, choose whatever format I want. I can even create my own format. Say for example, if I choose this range, generate the ID card. So now you are seeing the ID card over here. So now this is the Brindavan College, is one of our clients, sample one we created. The photograph, if it is there in the database, it's going to come. The student ID card with the photograph is there, and all the rules that you are going to print it on the back. Very easily, you can maintain the master data and easily print the ID card for your student in the format that you desire here. So that is the ID card format. Apart from that, you have the additional things like, these all students after passing out, they become alumni, right? So the master data plays a big role here. Your master data has the student ID, and those people will become part of the alumni, right? So now you have the alumni, right? So then some of them may be ready to give funds back to the college, so they become donors. Again, the master data becomes very crucial over here because that is the one that drives your alumni operations, right? So then grade class enrollment we saw placement when they are studying in the college, and so one of them gets placed. Again, master data plays a big role here. If you don't have, the admissions will be having one set of data, the fee collections will be having another set of data, admissions will be having one more one, placement will have all that data separately, and mixing and matching becomes extremely difficult. However, in Easylib, because everything is under one umbrella, one master data of the student, it makes integration with all these systems very, very, very seamless here, right? Including some of the things like communication groups you can form, send the student, add the student to that communication, send the group mails, assignments, groups, memberships, clubs, service desk, give them the ability to create the tickets when they want it. I don't know, e-note management that tells when the student comes into the college. So currently, these are the people in our campus here. So these people are there. When you can get the details of how many people are coming on a daily basis, monthly basis to your organization. Some of them may be visitors, some of them are students. You can maintain it for the sport facility, hostel. You can maintain it for the library. Wherever you want, you can maintain this in-out management. So all this is driven by the power of the master data as far as the students are concerned. I can go further down where all master data is acting as a backbone, right? So service desk gives them the ability to open the ticket when they have issues, right? Event management gives them the ability to see how many people have registered for each of the events. Say, for example, this event you registered here, right? So we have got the people who have registered. That is a part of the master data over here, right? So now, um, then there is the event we saw, journal publication. Who is, when you want to publish a journal, right? So you want to see, okay, who are the author, that who is the author, member ID. Again, it's a part of the master data over here. You want to take the surveys, who is responding to the survey. Again, member ID plays a big role. That's part of the master data over here. So master data is like, yeah, that is why it's called as a master data. It's master, right? The core of your organization, the student, faculty, rooms, the setups are all master data. Based on that, the transactions run. based on that analytics run over here. So this was a quick overview of Easylib student master data management. So we covered the theory part, then we covered some how do we build the master data and use it. Okay, so I'll be happy to take any questions. So before I conclude, I just want to go to the reports once again here. Okay, so this is the student master data, right? So here we went to the customized report, and here we took the department, right? Because those of you who have not used this feature in Easylib, I want to show this. So I took English as the department, right? Okay, so then submit. I get this 49 records. I want to print Excel. I can choose only what I need, right? So export and an Excel gets created. I can take this report here. So now let me go open it. Exactly. Only the fields that you have asked will get added to that particular report, and it looks like this: member ID, first name, last name, address, blood group, and all that thing. You want additional data, choose those fields. You don't want, you just don't choose, right? So it gives a lot of flexibility over here. Okay, so that's about it I wanted to cover in this webinar theory part. I'll be happy to take the questions. Let me go to the chat part. Thank you. Okay, so we have about 12 people on the webinar. Very good to see all of you. So I'll be happy to take the questions. Thank you. Whatever questions you have, please do write. I'll be happy to answer. There was, let me see. It. Yeah, one of the that questions came was how do we implement it, right? Yeah, it's again very simple. So that's once you confirm, we will create an instance for you in Easylib. So instead here it will say instead of the demo, it will tell the college name, right? Say for example msrmc.easylib.net. It will go to the MS Ramaya Medical College, right? Like this. So the different organizations will have a different URL. That is how you get started. Again, the pricing is very simple, and the master data of Easylib is common to both the library and also the campus automation, right? So you don't need two separate master data for campus administration for the library. One system works for both, and only this portion, the portion related to the library will be visible to the librarians, and the portion related to the campus administration will be visible to the campus administrators, and the attendance record will be visible only to the faculty. The reports will be visible to only those who have the authority, and the master data ability remains only with the people who you authorize to give them. Okay, so that's how it gets started. Okay, so that's about it. If there are no more questions, then we are going to conclude the webinar. Thank you very much for participating this. And Navya, can you please unmute if they have any questions, if people have any questions? If you have questions, please feel free to write an email, and our contact details are here. I'll pause for a minute and then we'll conclude this webinar. Thank you so much for participating in this webinar. We look forward to having you on the next webinar. The next one is going to be on Thursday. We are going to send you the invite. Thank you and have a great day.